everyone. I'm Laura. I'm the head of marketing and sustainability for FoodPanda in Singapore. I think many of you here actually aren't from Malaysia or the region. So if you don't know, FoodPanda is a food delivery platform. So those of you in the US will be familiar with Uber Eats, or in the UK, Deliveroo. We're part of a global company, actually the largest food delivery company in the world, Delivery Hero, which is present in 54 countries. In Singapore, we have more than 6,000 restaurant partners and 4,000 riders who essentially deliver food from the restaurant to consumers' homes. So what that means is that technically the packaging issue or plastic issue isn't really something that we can change, because the likes of the KFCs, Pizza Huts, who work very closely with us, they're responsible for their own sourcing of packaging. But we did want to influence this, and we actually launched something earlier this year in January. And I have a lovely video I can share with you now to just show a little bit more about what we did. Coming soon.
Food delivery. It's easy, it's affordable, it's delicious. So it's no surprise that popularity has soared in the past few years, with so many new brands entering the market and more restaurants on board. Demand has increased by 200% year on year. There are now more than 1.5 million food orders a month in Singapore, and it's only going to keep growing. But with huge growth comes massive waste. The amount of plastic that comes with food delivery alone equates to 22,000 tons a month in Singapore. And most of the time, this isn't really needed. Recycling efforts are difficult. In fact, Singapore recycles only 7% of its waste. Because of that, reduction is key. We took matters into our own hands with the opt-out feature. It's simple, fast, and better yet, free, giving customers a choice and not costing restaurants anything. We blasted it on all of our marketing channels, and word got around. Since launching in January 2018, we've saved more than 250,000 sets of cutlery, estimating at least 1 million sets by the end of the year in Singapore alone. Restaurants have saved money, and we extended it to 3 other markets in the region, tripling the impact and reduction. And of course, competition followed in our footsteps. Here goes to show a simple action can make a big impact. And even though it's not exactly our place, we decided to make a change, meaning anyone, including you, can make a difference.
So I actually pulled some data last week to just see the progress of the opt-in button. And actually, to date, we've saved 360,000 sets of cutlery in Singapore alone. We originally started in January with our top 20 restaurants and have now rolled this out to more than 4,200. In addition to the 3 markets that you saw on the slide, it's now live in 6 countries, including Norway, Canada, and Germany. And an interesting point, which I think is really important for the F&B industry, is that we roughly estimated that we saved $60,000. In Singapore, this is really important because the cost of labor and rent is extremely high, and the margins that F&B retailers will make are very, very low. So anything that will help them to be more profitable is something that they'll naturally buy into. So some learnings that I wanted to share with you was that for us, and what made this so well received, is that the solution doesn't have to be perfect. When we originally talked about the opt-in and out of cutlery feature, we wanted to have an integrated button. To have an integrated button, we needed tech support, and tech support looks after the 54 markets that we're part of. So quarter after quarter, my button kept getting pushed back and pushed back. And we just decided in January, we either wait or we just continue with the best thing that we can do ourselves, which was a manual hack on the menu. So I actually had a team that was adding the opt-in and out feature across quite a lot of restaurants. But what I think is important is that if we had waited for this perfect feature, it wouldn't have happened now. And we've already seen the huge impact that we've been able to make. The same with the number of restaurants. Ideally, we wanted to bring all of the 6,000 restaurants on board, but we started with the 20 and we were able to show quick wins, and it makes it a lot easier for us to keep going. The solution also isn't really rocket science. It's actually quite simple. By offering customers a choice, it's a very obvious solution. And I actually think the plastic problem, it's a big problem, but I think a simple solution is usually going to be the best one. I also think it's why it works with consumers and with businesses, even from an internal perspective, because it's very easy to understand what we're trying to achieve and how we're going to achieve it. And I've got some examples here of very obvious solutions that I think if we just reduce the usage of these plastic items, we would see a huge difference. Lots of people have already spoken about the straw. In Singapore, it's actually estimated that every day Singaporeans use 2.2 million straws. We've already heard about KFC and Starbucks who are reducing the usage of straws, but this can definitely be rolled out a lot further. The second item is packaging. So many of you will have the tote bags that we shared, and I'm traumatized to share with you that they all came wrapped in plastic, which is very ironic. And we request frequently with suppliers, please do not wrap things in plastic, but it's just a natural habit of people. And again, if these big manufacturers, if the plastic isn't needed, it does save them money, it saves them time by not wrapping things up. So it's something that we really want to push. And the final thing, I'm not sure if anyone outside of Singapore has this. This is something I noticed when I moved there, and it drives me insane. This plastic holder, which adds no value whatsoever, but you'll see so many people using this, and they'll use 2-3 a day. Again, it doesn't need, you don't need it. There's no use for it. And while I'm at lids as well, I don't know why we need a plastic lid on a coffee cup, because if you drop the cup, it's going to spill everywhere anyway, so we might as well just not have it. And again, it will save restaurants money, and I think if we want to make change, it's something that's very, very easily done, and it will also benefit the businesses and consumers as well. So my final parting words, for anyone that wants to work with a business, I've seen so many amazing ideas and obviously very, very intelligent people. But if you want to work with a business and drive change, the solution is to keep it simple. I think genuinely that's how you will make the biggest impact. Thank you.